Hello, I'm Rico Caveglia, and my co-host Jon Jew. Say hello, Jon.
Hello, Rico.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah, thank,
everybody. I am very excited to be here for our
yeah,
audience to show them how we can support their best year ever. Go ahead,
yeah,
Rico. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so welcome to this special 2-hour presentation of Fearless Aging, which is entitled "How to Make Your 2025 Your Best Year Yet." I think everybody would wants to do that. And so we came up with this idea of how can we best serve our audience this year at the start of this year. And I'm sure everyone agrees. Everyone wants to have a good new year and set resolutions and goals. But you know what? Resolutions and goals are rarely achieved. I think this is because it's not really about your goals or your intentions or your resolutions, but it's about what you actually are willing to do and what you're committed to. And it's about how you are going to change your life in 2025 so you can be much more successful. And of course, the three most important areas of our life are our relationships, our health, and our wealth, our financial situation. So when we realize that our success in all these areas are not dependent on the government or the economy or anything outside of ourselves, then we can make some headway in creating success. So you have to believe in the possibility that you can be successful, but you got to take the proper action. So what we decided to do, we're interviewing three top experts in each one of these fields of relationships, health, and finances, and they're going to give you their best ideas of what's been holding you back from being highly successful in that area, but also what some steps that you can begin to take right away that's going to help you to really improve each one of those areas so you can go out and make 2025 a really highly successful year. And so also stay with us till the end because not only are you going to learn, you're going to learn so much beneficial information that really will transform your life. But also, all of our guests and Jon and I as well, we have some free gifts and offers for you. So you want to be able to take advantage of that. Okay, Jon. Before we get going, what are your comments?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this, Rico, because 2025, I think a lot of people are positioned to have their best year ever. But it's really bigger than that. It's really having a great new year, but a great life overall. And a great life overall is where we come in with these stepping stones, the things that we can do for you, living your life with purpose, using your God-given talents to serve others, um, doing things that many people aren't aware of. And that is we haven't been taught that we are all here on earth with a divine purpose. And this purpose is to learn how to live together in peace. Imagine a world where we can respect each other, are kind and supportive of each other. We can live our life with creativity and joy, and we can raise the consciousness of each of our people that we are really our loved ones, our family, our friends, our communities, is we can start with raising their consciousness. And we can do that right here by giving you how 2025 can be your best year ever. And we will show you through our guests and what we have to offer, how we can go about that.
Yeah, really well said, Jon. And I'll just add a few things to that too. You know, everyone on our planet needs to step up and become their best self and to use their unique talents and abilities to how can serve other people and how to make it a better world for everyone. And when more people do that, that's when things are really going to change. Everybody wants peace, don't they, Jon? Everybody would like to live in peace. Everybody would like to live their best life and be creative and enjoy their life. But still, so many people are struggling just to survive, and we're still living in the darkness. We're still having wars and killing each other. But we can change that. That's what we're all about. And we need you to step up as well because, again, everybody's depending on you. We're all depending on each other. And Jon already mentioned, why it's so important because, again, you know, we need to change the way we're living and also why it's so important. John and I are really also involved in helping elders really live a longer, healthier life so they can become role models and mentors for younger people. And we need to use their wisdom and knowledge to help solve some of the problems that we're having. So, and both John and I, we do believe that we all have a divine purpose. As John said, that's to learn how to live together in peace on this planet. So that's what it's all about. So I hope you're excited as we are. John, I know John's real excited.
I'm excited. I'm really pumped up about this because I think we are in a place where we need change.
Yeah.
We need to transform our beliefs about especially elders and how we live our lives to a point where we can help and serve others. And that's the way it is in other countries and other cultures. But here in the United States, things need to be not only aware of where we're going with our elders, but also how we can serve. Us elders can serve our humanity, our people here in the United States as well as we possibly can, and on a global basis is what our message is all about.
Absolutely. Okay, before we get rolling, we're going to play a short message from our sponsor, Healthy Coffee.
Try a sample pack of low-acid, healthy Cafe Pure coffee with a 25% discount. Go to livepure.com/ageless coffee and click on Cafe Pure at the top, and you can order your sample coffee. And I'm quite sure you're going to love it.
All right, we'll be back. And at the end of the show, John's going to talk a little bit more about all the benefits of that coffee and also how you can also create a new stream of income, how you can build some wealth from the opportunity with that healthy coffee. Okay, so it all starts with improving our relationships, our health, and our wealth if we're going to really live our best self and create a great new year and a great new life. So our first segment is on relationships. So our first expert guest, her name is Elle Ebizadeh. She's a great relationships coach and a good friend of mine. And her interview was recorded earlier. So we're going to play that recording for you right now. Whoop, hit the wrong button. Wait a minute. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, it changed on that. Okay, so I'm with our first guest. She is an expert relationships coach and a good associate and a friend of mine. Her name is Elle Ebizadeh. She's a certified
Ebizadeh.
Okay. She's a certified relationships coach and a laser coach dedicated to helping individuals break free from emotional and financial codependency. With expertise in calling in the one and conscious uncoupling, Elle empowers her clients to release limiting beliefs and set healthy boundaries and cultivate self-love. Elle's compassionate approach guides people on their journey to authentic connections and fulfilling relationships. So, my friend Elle, thank you so much for being here and sharing all your knowledge and wisdom with us.
Thank you so much, Rico. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so glad to be here. We have done so many different summits, workshops together. So this is an honor to be here with you.
Yeah, it's so fun to see you again, connect with you. And so I think that, we're talking about relationship, we're talking about health, and we're talking about wealth. And we're starting with relationships because it's my belief, and I know it's yours as well, this is the foundation for everything in our life. Because, and particularly if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be very successful in creating good health or financial success as well. So this is such an important topic, and I know you're a great expert. You got some really good information for people. So let's start off with talking about why it's so important to have a good relationship with yourself, and how can one begin to create that really great relationship with themselves.
Yes, it's a great question, and that's, basically what you just said beforehand. It's very true. The relationship with other people, even with money, with our own health, it starts with that relationship that we have with ourselves. And a lot of people, me included, in the past, I kind of looked outside of myself to see about my health, about the money, about the relationship with other people. But as soon as I kind of went more deeper, became more self-aware, which is the key to understanding who you are, what your needs are, and really have that dialogue, the conversation of loving conversation with yourself. And at any time, if anything negative comes up in your mind, be able to monitor that and switch that emotional state of mind when it's negative to a positive part. I mean, I give you an example. It's a great example. It's recent. I was misplaced from the fires in Camarillo, Ventura County in November. And I haven't been back to my house for the past 2 months. And on Monday, today is Thursday, I was able to go back home. And again, on 2 days ago, because of the potential of fire, they cut the electricity down.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm outside of my house. And right now I'm actually sitting in my car talking to you. So the interesting part about that, which I asked myself, what is it that I need to learn from this experience of being, the house is our foundation. How can I be grounded in this situation? And I mean, I invite you guys to ask yourself the same thing. How can I be grounded? How can I be self-aware? If anything, because life goes up and down. We have different scenarios that comes to us from our friends, family, work, anything. So how can you be able to really be grounded in anything that comes up for you?
I was just going to add. I know we talked about this before. It's really all about seeing that everything is happening to you for a reason. In other words, and so have the idea that life is not happening to you; it's happening for you. And so stay in that love feeling, that realizing that life is unfolding just the way it should for you.
Yeah, exactly. So asking myself this question, why do I have to go through this again? What is it here that I need to learn about myself, about life? And it was interesting. As soon as I asked myself that question, I smiled and I said, okay, it is something for me to learn. And I learned that my home is not the foundation. I mean, it's part of the foundation, yes, but the self is my own foundation. Even if I live in a hotel, if be in my car, that relationship that I have with myself, that self-awareness is the key to my mood, to my well-being, to happiness, because it's based on that. It's the foundation of self it's crucial to any relationship that you're going to have outside of yourself. So that was my lesson for today.
That's such a good story. Yeah, thank you for that. Well, and I think that where the message is that you're in control of that too. You're in control of your emotions and how you feel about yourself and your life. And so you can choose to be concerned or be non-loving, or you can be loving and love yourself and love your life no matter what's going on, because you're in control of that. And I just want to say this and have you talk about that a little bit too. For some people who don't feel that they love themselves, if you think about this, I think most people believe in a creator or God or something that created them. And we know, God's an all-loving being, the creator, and created you out of love. And if God loves you, why would you not love yourself, right?
Yeah, yes. And you know, so what you're talking about is those limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of love. Nobody loves me. So those are the beliefs that actually comes most of the time. I can say 90% of the time of those earlier interactions of our childhood. And I suggest for you guys to really ask yourself, what is my limiting belief? What thoughts that are negative comes to my mind when I'm not in a positive space? Do I think about myself that I'm not good enough? Nobody loves me. I mean, I was in that space for many years till I really sat down, wrote down about my negative beliefs about myself, and figured out where it came from. What was my assumption from those interactions of those early childhood times? So I would suggest for you guys to really sit down, ask yourself, um, ask those questions and see where those negative thoughts about myself, what is those limiting beliefs comes from, and ask yourself, is that true? I mean, if you say nobody loves me, or no, nobody cares for me, if that's your limiting belief, then look around you and see, maybe you felt that was then when you were, I don't know, much younger, and 5-year-olds, those caregivers that you had they were not there for you in the space that you needed them to be. So, but today you have, I'm sure you have friends, family, loved ones that love you. And then you can open your heart and really receive that love instead of putting those walls that you have put on for many, many years. So nobody can come through uh, and see who you really are deeply inside. So it's a little bit of work. Journaling can be best thing that you can do. Meditation and asking yourself about your beliefs and where they come from. The first key is just asking yourself, knowing what they are and knowing where they come from. And then the rest, it becomes easy, because every time that you think about that, then you compare the past to the present moment. And you want to be really connected to the present moment at right now, instead of being in that past negative experience.
Yeah, you know what I like to always think of is that our beliefs, actually, almost all of our beliefs are actually limiting in many ways. And a belief is just something that we think to be true, but it's not. Most of the time, it's not true at all. It's just the wrong perspective of what's going on in our life. So no matter what you used to believe, you can pretty much believe that it wasn't a truth. It wasn't the truth. So you can just let that go and just believe. Since we can believe anything we want, right? Why not just
Yeah.
always believe the very best for yourself? That makes
Yes.
sense. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes. I mean, the exercise would be the mirror exercise, that you, when you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, oh my God, I love you. You're so beautiful. You're going to have such a great day today. Look into your eyes and talk about the positive aspect of who you are and where you want to be. Sometimes it's going to take some time to be able to say all this stuff, but practice it daily and it will come up. It may come up negative thoughts about yourself at the beginning, but sit with those negative thoughts. I tell my clients, let's just befriend our emotions and
Mm.
sit with them. And then it will, step by step, it goes to the positive part. But you have to allow yourself to feel those negative things, so you can compare what has been in the past and what it is today.
Yeah. What I'm always thinking too, that everybody wants to be loved, right? Everybody wants love in their life. But if you don't love yourself, why do you think somebody else should love you or want to love you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not kind to yourself. If you don't love yourself, if you don't ask yourself, what do you need right now? How are you feeling? I mean, the other exercise can be to put alarms on your phone every like couple of times a day, and when the alarm goes on, ask yourself, what do you feel? How are you feeling? And what is your need? It can be very simple as, oh, I feel warm and I need to go get a glass of water. I mean, it can be as simple as that. And as soon as you get up and you have the, cold water from the refrigerator, then it calms you down. And then it means that you have actually gave yourself what you needed at that moment. So start with the small stuff, and then you can go on to the bigger needs that you have in your life. I need to make $10,000 a month. Okay, that's my need, but what's the first step? You cannot go from, I don't know, $2,000 to 10, but what's the first step? Where you can start? Just kind of write it down, journal it, and do it on a daily basis so you can get from that 2,000 to 10,000, and from that feeling of negative about yourself to that positive. Because, Rico, deep inside, all of us are lovable, we are beautiful, we are kind. We have to just bring that deeper part of us out so we can feel it, we can see it, and we can cherish it.
Yeah, that's really well said. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's just, I think you have to realize that if you're withholding love from yourself, love is everywhere. Love is our true nature. Love is what really runs the universe. And if you're for some reason withholding it from you, that's why you're not successful in every aspect of your life. So just allow the love to come to you, because it's right there. And you just have to be aware of that at every moment. Just realize that. Otherwise, and so I like the saying that the more you love yourself, the better your life becomes.
Exactly. That's very true. Very true.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have a question for you here, though. So let's talk about now relationships with other people. So how does improving our relationship with ourselves impact our relationship with others?
Yeah, so we went through it in the last part. When you actually know and give yourself the need that whatever you need on a daily basis, then the interaction with other people becomes different, because it won't come from that negative part of you. It comes from that, okay, my needs are met. I can, I can fulfill my own needs. And now let me talk to this other person and see how we can have a relationship, what the connection, how is that going to work for me? And the other part is knowing exactly who you are and what you want. A lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I want this, I want that. I don't want this, I don't want that, but they don't know exactly what they want. What's the core value of who you are? I mean, do you understand that part of you? What is important for you in a relationship with others? Is honesty one of the steps? Then explore and see if you're honest to yourself. If you want others to be honest to you, are you honest to yourself? So there is steps that you can take. And yes, the important part is that relationship to self, and then you can open yourself up to have relationship with others.
Yeah, don't you also think that if you want to have a good loving relationship with someone else, that's how you have to have your mindset. You have to approach it. You have to see love in other people and not be not over judging them. You have to see the love because as we've been talking about, everyone's the same. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to have good relationships. So you have to come with that mindset when you're dealing with other people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all about knowing that I'm here in this relationship to be connected heart to heart, not from those past experience that says that has been negative. Let me explore this present moment, this interaction from this new step. And communication is the key. If you're talking about, a loving relationship with a partner, if the old partner that was not a loving relationship, that did not work out, that there is like some negative part of it, talk about it, process that on your own to know exactly what has happened in that interaction. And it's always we have 2% that we put in the interaction. Understand that your step or whatever you have said or done, maybe it wasn't appropriate at that time either. So when you're in a new relationship, make sure that you talk about your needs. Make sure that you lovingly, very openly, and understand what the other person needs are, and see if it's going to work out. Because, we may be two different people. Our needs and our, what we want for our life is different, and that's okay. Two people can be together and love being together, have to have the same goal in life. That's very important. It's not just about, okay, how does he look? Is she, is she skinny, or, she's not overweight, all that stuff, the outside, yes, that has that connection. But it's important to understand what deeply you're looking for in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, I think you already been covering it, but maybe talk a little bit more about what some practical steps that to help you to heal from either an unloving relationship, or even also an unloving a childhood relationship. What would be some more people can get real practical steps again now that they could take?
Yeah, so it's the self-reflection is very important. So take a look at the patterns, the triggers, the needs. All those are crucial. Process all that before you get to a new relationship. Clean that past by processing whatever has happened. A lot of people go from one relationship to another. I'm sorry. Give yourself some time to process. Give yourself time to understand what has happened in those past relationships. And when you start a new one, communicate what your needs are right away, and see if you're both on the same page.
Yeah, I think you also said that. I think you also said, that, and learned that you were part of that situation that maybe didn't turn out as good as you wanted to. So learn what you need to do better, and how you can be more loving in a relationship as well. So you got to realize that it works both ways. You need to know how you can improve how you can be better in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. On the conscious uncoupling, when I talk to my clients, I say, okay, I'm helping you uncouple from the past relationship, but there's always 1 or 2% on your side. Let's look at what was your side of the scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, so much. Well, one thing too, I let people know too that you have a free gift on your website, and we'll put that up in the show description. But before we go on, let's go ahead and talk about. I know you have a consultation or a free gift that you offer people.
Yeah. So my website is heartcoaching.org. I guess Rico is going to put the 30-minute discovery call complimentary that we can talk about what your needs are in a relationship. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. So we can have that conversation with me, and then we can process it together. That would be a complimentary session for you. And also I have a ebook on my website, complimentary. You can download it. It's about how to be in new relationships, going step by step to get to that space of knowing exactly what and who you're looking for in a relationship.
That's so good. Well, yeah, thank you for that. And what I want to add to that is, I mean, we all go through those times of period of, kind of self-doubting ourselves, and maybe not loving ourselves, or not creating loving relationships. But so all the things you said that we need to do, self-reflection and all those things, but also get some help. We're not alone in this. That's what we're all here for, to help each other. So I highly recommend you consult with Elle. Coaching is known to be the surest and fastest way to achieve any goals, or to really greatly, bring you out of whatever situation that you're in. So get some coaching, and definitely take Coach Elle up on her offer.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. Yes,
yeah,
I mean, my sessions are 5 or 7 sessions. It's not a long term. It's simple. It's loving, and then we can get to your goal easily, understanding what your needs are, who you are, what you want to manifest in your relationships, and it works.
it just works. So how about we kind of wrap it up with maybe let's bring up maybe like 3 of the biggest, most important points that we would want people to get out of what we just went over. What would you say?
Yeah, the first thing is understanding yourself, that you are the foundation of your life, and giving yourself time, giving yourself love, and at least give yourself 5 minutes a day to reflect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the key to really, doesn't matter what's going on outside of you, as long as you have that foundation of self grounded, then everything will work out. So that's the first key. The second one is to process anything that comes up for you. The way to handle it is to process and see, how did it make you feel? And what was the need at that time? If it wasn't fulfilled, maybe next time, if the situation comes out, what would you do as far as giving yourself the need that you had in that situation? And then be able to communicate it with your partner, people that you work with, in a loving way.
Yeah.
So those are the keys. Yeah.
Okay. And so what I would add to that is just to think about, again, as we mentioned before, if you don't love yourself, how do you think anybody else should love yourself? And that you have the consciousness to control what your mind is thinking, and what you're thinking, and what you're believing. So again, just think about, why not believe the very best for yourself? So love yourself before anything else, and that's, as we said before too. I'd love to say that the more you love yourself, the better your life becomes, and the more you love yourself, and the better relationships you create, then you're going to also be able to create a healthy, energetic, financial, successfully long life.
Yes, and self-love is the key. I do agree. Self-love is the key. Having healthy, loving boundaries with other people. Also, I mean, if you have that self-love, if you know what you want and what your needs are, that's self-love. And then you be able to have those healthy boundaries with other people. If you need some time to think about it, if you need some time to be alone, if you need to, I don't know, go to bed early, and you can explain that to your partner and say, you know what, tonight I don't feel very well. I think I should go to bed early so I can have a better day tomorrow. I hope you understand. And that's it. Just simple. Don't overdo yourself. Don't really take care of yourself so you can take care of other people. If you can't take care of yourself, you're not able to take care of other people. So self-love is number 1 key. Yes.
Yeah, and that's like what you said. Self-care is self-love. So care for yourself. Why should you not? Doesn't make sense not to, doesn't it? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, even Rico, I know you do like workout and for health. If you don't love yourself, how can you take care of yourself in a healthy way?
That's exactly right.
That's it. So it comes, if you don't care about yourself to be financially set and free, I mean, it's all about that. The self-love is number one key to have a good relationship, to be healthy, to be wealthy. So
That's
that's
exactly right. Yeah, that's why we started with this. So
yeah.
Elle, thank you so much. Thank you for all your knowledge and wisdom and your love
Thank you.
and sharing all that with us. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Rico.
You
Thank you
take
for
care.
inviting.
We'll
All
talk
right.
soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. All right, we are back. All right, Jon. So give us some of your thoughts on what Elle had to say.
Oh, wow. That was so powerful, Rico, what she has to say. And it all starts with us, yourself. And, what you said also, it can be summarized very easily and very quickly is the more you love yourself, the better your life becomes. Wow. That's a tremendous statement. And it's all knowing that the answer to your problems, the answer to our life's problems, our global problems, is right down to each of us taking responsibility. And that starts with self love. And that's how God designed us. God designed us to love each other. And the more we can love ourselves, then we can love each other at a very, very high level. And that's where peace and that's where harmony and that's where compassion comes in and kindness and the things that God created us for. So I really appreciated hearing Elle speaking it and the interchange that you had with her. Outstanding. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I think that again that is so important. The real concept that we all need to be more aware of. It all starts with us. It all starts with what we're believing and thinking and feeling. And and the good news is we have control over that, right? We have control. We can be awareness is really being aware of maybe what we're believing or what we're thinking or what we're saying, and it's not serving us. So if things aren't going so well, if you're not creating good relationships and if you're not as healthy as you want to be or as wealthy as you want to be, don't blame anything else but yourself. We just have to take responsibility for it and realize, okay, but that's good news, isn't it, Jon? That's good news because that means we're not a victim. Because if you put in what's going on in your life with outside things, then you're a victim. You don't have control. But that's not where it's at. It's all on us. So once we accept the responsibility to change and to make everything better in our life, that we have the power to do that, that's how real transformation occurs.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent wisdom that you're just sharing right there, Rico. As far as when we have problems, we have struggles, when we have things that are going on, not to look outside, but look inside. That is a change that we can all do when we get stuck or we get overwhelmed or we get somewhere where we're not wanting to be and we feel very uncomfortable with it. And it's really something that is as simple as that first step, self-awareness, to understand who you are. And once you have that self-awareness, you can make choices. You can really make choices. And I just love that, we can take 100% responsibility for our lives that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now that we're all loving ourselves more, and that we're ready to build some even better relationships, not only with ourselves but with everybody in our life. We got that down right, Jon. So now we're ready to build some good health. So our second interview, our guest expert, her name is Julz Vitality, and she is a wellness advocate and a business coach. She's the CEO of vitalityvirtual.org. And she's quite a really interesting, amazing person. She's got a really lot of things going on and some really great stories. So we're going to talk with Julz Vitality next.
Very exciting.
Hello, this is Rico Caveglia, and I'm here with my good friend and associate, Julz Vitality, and she's been kind enough to join us on this 2-hour special of how to make 2025 your best year yet. And she is a wellness and health advocate and a business coach, and she has lots of things going on. You'll find out all about her. So, Julz Vitality, thanks so much for being here and joining us.
My pleasure. I love being on the show. I think you have an amazing crowd gathered to watch it. So, hello everyone and Happy New Year, and let's dive into it.
Okay, so this segment is all about how and why and when, I guess, as well. How you can improve your health, because I think everybody should realize that if no matter what you want to be successful in your life, it takes a lot of good health and takes vitality, it takes lots of energy. So it's so important. So how about we start with that topic of let's talk a little bit about why it's so important more than ever now that people need to realize how important their health is and make it a priority and take responsibility for it.
Yeah, well, I think, there's an expression, I'm probably gonna mess it up, but it goes something like this. If we are healthy, we have so much to worry about. Worry about meaning get involved with. But if we're sick, the only thing that matters to us is getting better in our health.
That's right. That's a good one. I've heard that for a while. Absolutely. If you're not feeling well and you're sick, that takes up all of your life because you just can't function. You can't do anything. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think when we're just feeling okay, feeling pretty good, nothing's really bothers that much. We don't appreciate it enough until something goes wrong. And so, and really, the body only. I mean, we only get sick or in some way that we're not functioning well is when let our body get out of balance. And that's when the body begins to break down. So it's all about getting educated, right? Getting educated of what your body requires to be healthy. But then you got to take the action on it. So let's talk about, well, before you tell us your story, let's just talk a little bit about, uh, what the biggest, I mean, why it's such a big challenge, why so many people are struggling with their health, and why so many people are becoming old and sick and dying way too young.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it. I think we don't appreciate it when we have it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So maybe let's commit here now to having gratitude to whatever amount of health we do have. Let's start with that. Even if you have pain
So
in your
good.
finger, 99.9% of your body is healthy. So let's be grateful for all of the stuff that's functioning well, all of the systems that are working without you having to manipulate them, right? Let's be grateful for the complex, robust mechanism of this body that we have, and only one that we're given for this life. And let's appreciate it and care for it. Like if you were to be given one car for your whole life,
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to care for it, right? And because in this consumerism society, we can swap those cars, trade them in, right? We stop taking care of them, right? And they start breaking down. In fact, they become disposable. You do not want that to happen to your body, right? You won't be able to get another one. Maybe, in X number of years, we will get AI and clones, but, all of that has its own consequences, right? So for now, dedicate and commit to taking the best possible care of the only vessel that you, as an energetic being, or being of spirit, whatever your beliefs are occupying in this lifetime.
Yeah,
So let's
really
start with
well,
that.
really well said. And I just want to add to that, really, we now know too that the reason that we're having so much chronic illness and so many people are sick and struggling with all these chronic illnesses and again, becoming old and sick and dying way too young is because of our unhealthy lifestyle. Science has shown us now that our genes only play a small role, maybe 10 to 15% on how healthy we're going to be and how long we're going to live. So it's lifestyle, but that's really good news, isn't it? That means you have control over your lifestyle. You can create your lifestyle. But you got to take the responsibility for it. So talk a little bit about that. Why do you think people have just kind of neglected their health and their lifestyle and are not taking responsibility for their health?
Yeah, what came to me when you were sharing that is the word alignment. And that alignment from why are we here? Is my life meaningful? Am I worthy of living long? Am I going to basically enjoy this life? Is it worth for me to try to live longer? Because some people already resigned. And when you resign and stop taking care of yourself, you are shortening your lifespan. But I just watched a show on the deaths of last year's celebrities. And guess what? Majority of them died in their 90s, a few in their late 80s. So guess what? If you're 40 and 50, you're halfway through your life and you're probably already resigning and saying, oh, I'm getting old. Oh, it's starting to ache. No, no, no. You're just halfway through. You have another 40, 50 years to go. Right? Or depending on where you are on that scale, even if you're 60, you have another 30 years to go. You've been an adult for as long as you still have to live. So that alone should be motivation for you to take care of your body, physical vessel, as we just talked about, and your mind, because one of the things that starts deteriorating with age is our mind. And when our mind resigns, everything comes from the mind. Even in my gym, there is a couple of big statements like, the biggest enemy is you. And it all starts with the mind, right? If you conquer the mind, you'll conquer the body, right? Yeah. So it's a commitment to saying, yes, I choose to live a lifestyle that is going to give me a happy life, a functionally robust life where you're not going to have to be in a wheelchair or in a cart driving around a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
You are capable of, no matter where you are today, unless you have some really, chronic injury, you can reverse a lot of the effects of aging, of disease, just by changing your diet and lifestyle. It's so simple. It's just a matter of wanting it.
Yeah. And the reason that we want you to, I want to add, the reason that you want it, it's obviously just for your own personal well-being and your own personal enjoyment of life. You want to be healthy and energetic and live as long as you can. But the reason also, I think, is because why people don't take better care of their health. That's what I learned with working with so many people as a personal trainer for all these years, is if you're not living your purpose, then you're not motivated to take care of yourself. But when you discover what your purpose is in your life, then you realize that your physical body is your vehicle to be here and live your purpose. And when you mention it, I just thought of something when you mentioned about a lot of celebrities who are living longer, and maybe that reason is because they have a purpose, because that's why they're a celebrity, because they're into whatever they're into, really. Whatever, it's music or acting or business, and so that they have a purpose in their life. That's why they're living longer.
And even Mediterranean studies that they've made of the centenarians, the community, right? So community support and definitely lifestyle. All of those well-aging communities, right? Mediterranean lifestyle, exposure to sun. There are so many elements, but then again, I think what we're trying to do is bring it down to not necessarily the list of things to do and a list of things to eat. It's more as to, are you really motivated to act in the direction of improving your health and vitality? Are you dedicated to investing time and effort and even learning about what it takes? And are you dedicated to making small changes gradually every day, something that becomes a routine that you don't have to think about it? And a year from now, you're gonna be a completely different person. Recently, I finished reading a couple of books, one of them being A Miracle Morning, and there was another one very similar to that, basically concentrating on the morning routine and how even 10 minutes of exercise in the morning can change a person's appearance, energy level, productivity, so many aspects. Later, well, in whatever matter of months, you're going to see the difference, and then the year, you're going to people say that they've been in the best shape of their life than ever before, and it takes a few minutes of literally consistent effort, and it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be something you hate. You can start with something you like, but creating containers, let's just say, of things around you that propel you in the direction of vitality and wellness is a lot more important than just giving up and not basically resigning, right? So we have the being motivated versus being resigned. And I think that really creates the tipping scale of, okay, I gave up on myself. I gave up on my life. I'm just going to watch TV and eat junk and wait to die because I'm already over the hump. So my life is going downhill and there's nothing out there for me. And look, everybody's dying. And look, there's AI taking over the world, right? Like that victim mentality, right? Versus, okay, let me maybe tune into myself. Why am I here? Ask yourself some questions. Ask people around you, what do you think I'm good at? What are my talents? Maybe it's your low self-esteem. What I often see, maybe you've seen that also in personal training, people who have low self-esteem, they would rather resign, right? But as people grow in their self-esteem, they start being more motivated to make changes and invest in themselves. And it is a cycle, right?
Yeah.
As they become more energized, they become more self-confident, right? And the cycle goes up. So instead of going in the downward cycle, we need to find what it is that can propel us upward, even 1 degree a day or a month.
Yeah, that's so good. And I want to add to that is exactly what you were saying, is that you have to everyone has to realize that you are special. You're here on purpose. You weren't here by accident. You're here on purpose. So you have a certain talent and skills and things that nobody else has, that you can make a difference in the world. And that's why you're here. So if you're giving up and not living your purpose, or taking responsibility for your life or your health, you're going in the opposite direction. But like I say, we need you to do that. We need you to step. We need everybody to step up and live their purpose, and then we can create a much more peaceful and prosperous and joyful world for everybody. And one more thing before we get into, I want to just touch a little bit on your story of how you realized all this, and how you turned your life around, and all that, and then some recommendations of how people to get started. But what I want to add was, as you mentioned, about 1 year from now, if you do begin to step up and take responsibility for your health and make it a priority, 1 year from now, you can be younger and healthier and more successful in every aspect of your life. But if you don't, if you keep on doing the same as you are now, 1 year from now, where are you going to be? You're going to be in a worse position, more than likely. Yeah.
Yeah, again, from some book, I think it's from the 12-week year. It says that the actions that we take on a daily and even hourly basis, the decisions we make from day to day, determine the course of our life.
Yeah.
So break it back down to, where do you want to be, and what decisions do you need to make today in order for you to start creating that positive momentum versus just resigning and going down to the negative momentum. Just like a house in the middle of nowhere, if nobody's taking care of that house, what's going to happen to it?
Yeah.
Weeds are going to come through, the walls are going to fall down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So start taking care of the house. If you don't take care of it, just like a car, it will rust, and if the car is not being used, and the parts of it are not being moved and oiled, they also deteriorate. And again, I just came up with this illustration of the car on this show. I didn't have it prepared, but I think it's very fitting, right? Yeah. Take care of your body better than you would take care of your car.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your story, how you realized that you had to begin to take responsibility for your health, and how you turned your health around, and why now you're such a wellness and health advocate and teacher.
Yeah, I had multiple moments in life. I'll just maybe bring up one or two. I remember when I woke up one day and all my major joints were in so much pain. They were inflamed to the point where I could barely get myself out of bed. And then I had to come down the stairs, and I was in my 20s. Okay. And I was like, oh no, is this the end of my life? Is this how I'm going to have to live the rest of my life? Mm-hmm. I was swallowed by fear, mm-hmm. and self-pity, and just it was a horrible moment. Anyway, long story short, it ended up being a virus, and it went away in 2 weeks. Okay. Thankfully, I was lucky. It wasn't anything like arthritis or anything, fibromyalgia or anything, but I was literally questioning for those 2 weeks. I was literally questioning, how am I going to function? What am I going to do with my life? And when that virus started going away, I'm like, I'm going to do everything it takes to get my body in the shape where I will not have to, mm-hmm. Deal with these limitations of movement, of the pain, right? I'm going to do my best to take care of this thing, okay, that I've been given. A couple of other wake up moments were, for example, stories like what I just shared, where the lifespan of humanity is lengthening. We do have a long time to go. We're no longer dying in our 60s. Yes, of course, some people do. There are accidents and illnesses. But on average, our lifespan, because of the advances in medicine and whatnot, is really long. So when I reflect on how far I am in advance in comparison to how long I have to go, I'm like, well, I'm not getting any younger, but I have so many more years to go. So what do I need to do to make sure I get through those years in the best possible state? Because I don't want to be dependent on anyone. I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to not be able to bend down and pick up something I dropped, right? So I started attending functional fitness classes where they create mobility, where I never was concerned with mobility before. I'm like, what is mobility? Like as a young person, you don't want to think about it.
Right.
But when you realize what older generations are struggling with, I'm like, I want to prevent that. So it starts now. It doesn't start when you get sick, when you're already there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can still do some things to reverse certain things, but I decided to become proactive, to invest into strengthening my body skeletal system, all of my systems, respiratory, heart, all of the things that normally fail. Number one cause of death, heart disease, right? So we need to strengthen our heart. What do you do today to move every day to create a higher heart rate, the faster heart rate? If you're not increasing your heart rate every day, or at least every other day, if you're just barely getting from sitting down to standing, to taking something out of the fridge, eating and back on the couch, your heart rate is your heart health is deteriorating, right? So pump that heart. Do something that makes you happy, whether it's dancing, aerobics, anything. Then I had another situation that really hit my mental health. When your mental health is down, when you're depressed and low, you don't want to move. You want to sleep. Okay. You just don't want to get out of bed. You barely drag yourself through the day. And one day I remember I felt sick of being sick. I'm like, I hate being in this state. Enough of my self-pity, enough of feeling like a loser, like a victim, enough of, being sorry for everything that happened. I don't want to be in this state anymore. And I literally just started doing anything and everything I could get my hands on to get myself out of that state. And movement was one of the first things. Sun, movement, essential oils, plants, anything from nature, surprisingly, helped me way more than anything that had nothing to do with nature, right? So there are more stories, but basically there were pivotal moments where I realized I don't want to function as a vegetable. I don't want to be a couch potato. I want to be productive. I'm here for a reason. Sometimes I did not know what that reason was. It sucked. It felt really yucky not knowing what your purpose is. And maybe some of our listeners are going, well, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know why I'm here. There are a lot of tools out there. Google it. There are a lot of people who can help you find your purpose. There are quizzes, there are assessments, motivational videos. You can find it. It's not going to be, available laying down on the street and you're going to pick it up. You're going to have to dig for it. You're going to have to search for it. You're going to have to be honest with yourself. You're going to have to admit certain things about yourself. But when you find that purpose, when you find the reason why you're here, or what you can bring to this world, how you can make this world a better place, it will pull you up. Everything's just going to become, how can I be stronger and healthier and more motivated to achieve that purpose?
And make a positive impact.
Exactly. Positive impact, yes.
That's what you're all about. Positive impact. Yeah. That was really well said, Jill. And again, I just want to add to that is, as you were saying, all you have to do is get a little educated and then just take consistent action. You don't have to go to a boot camp. You don't got to beat yourself up. You don't have to become an athlete. You just have to take consistent actions on all the things that we know that will produce a long living, healthy, vital, functioning body for many, many years. And there's plenty of there's things on YouTube. There's coaches, like both you and I are coaches. There's so many people that, we can help people. You can contact us. We're big glad to give you a free coaching call and assessment. So tell a little bit about how people can get a hold of you. I know you have a gift for our audience as well.
Yeah, so you can just Google my name. You can see there on the window, either my name, Julz Vitality, or the name of my show, Positive Impact. It's a show and also a chamber of commerce where entrepreneurs come together to learn how to make a greater impact, and those who are exploring the way of entrepreneurship. So my gift for you guys today is to share your story. You've probably overcome some challenges, and those of you who maybe have already found your purpose, but for you, it may be easy to say, yeah, okay, I want to share my story because I've overcome ABC and now I'm this. And some of you are probably not sure. So my homework to you is to challenge yourself and to dig for that purpose. And when you find it, I want you to come and share it on my show. Okay, and we're gonna get you the links. But basically, I want to know what it is that gets you going, what it is that you want to see as a positive change in the world, and how do you see yourself contributing to that positive movement for impact in the world.
I was just going to ask you, to kind of sum it up, for people, for someone who's listening right now and says, okay, I got it. I got it. I know I need to do this. I'm ready to do that. What would be the very first step? I think you just said it, but maybe just summarize it one more time. Okay, if someone says, okay, I get it. I got to do it. I'm ready to commit. I'm ready to step up and take care of take responsibility for my health. What would you say? Give us number one, the top three things that they should start doing right now today.
Okay, so I think I'll go from the top of the pyramid, because I think at the end of everything is something to look forward to. So you need to have a dream or a goal. I would say a dream, because a goal, we're not going to quantify it and say by this time I want to achieve this. I want you to have a vision. And by vision, I mean close your eyes and imagine something or somewhere you want to be, or a situation where you want to find yourself. Okay, maybe it's being with family, maybe it's on vacation, maybe it's on top of Mount Everest, whatever it is that will make you happy. But before I do that, I want to give you permission to dream, because a lot of people don't have that permission because they think, what's the point? I'm never going to be able to get there. Right? So first of all, if you had everything in this world to be able to get there, okay, with that condition, close your eyes and dream, okay? Then I give you permission to believe that you will find a way, okay? And then have that dream, that vision in front of you, first thing when you wake up and last thing before you go to bed. And you will see how that alone will get you more interested in eating better, waking up and taking care of your body, and finding ways to function with better productivity. Because you need that reason. So once you find the reason, the rest will come.
Yeah. That's it. And so I think the message is, of all the things that we've just said, is that you can do it. So as the most famous saying, one of the most famous sayings in the world from Nike is just do it. You just got it. You can do it, and you can do it. And but you just have to make the commitment and say, okay, now's the time, and I'm going to do it. So Julz Vitality. That was awesome. I appreciate so much, and we'll put in the show notes, how they can contact you, how you can get a hold of you. I definitely want people to go to your website vitalityvirtual.org. You have so much going on there. You got magazines and courses and blogs and coaching things. So you definitely want to check out all of that she has to offer. So thank you so much, Julz. That was great.
Thank you, Rico, and everybody who's listening and watching. And if you know anybody else who would benefit from this, do share. And do share at least what you've heard, and if possible, the episode itself, because we do want to encourage and motivate more people to live the best life they can.
Thank you so much. All right, we're back. Hey, Jon.
Hey, Rico. Wow, what a beautiful guest. She is so full of tremendous, tremendous things that we can all do to be better human beings as we go through this journey of life.
Yeah, she's really a treat. She's just so energetic and so expressive. she's so fun. Yeah, she's really cool. And again, she had her story. She knows where most people are coming from, and she's so. I want people to get that. No matter where you're at or what you think is so bad maybe in your life, or things you have tried in the past that haven't worked, or whatever your story is, you can change your story. And she's just a perfect example of that, how she's gone from where she told she was to being such a vibrant, energetic, healthy human being that's out to help make it a better planet. And you can do that as well. And we need you to do that. So I hope that's what people get, don't you, Jon? That it don't matter where you're starting from. It's just a matter of taking that first step, and you can do it. And we're here to help you to do that.
Yeah, that's so correct, Rico, as far as you can do it. And it really starts, and she gave us the blueprint, just as God has given us the blueprint. And it's really mind shift. It's really
Yeah.
getting your point to we're all born with a unique dream, a unique purpose. That's what God has designed us for. And once we get that mind shift going to know that that's why we're here today, is that that can be developed, and that can, with the work necessary for some of us who are so grateful that we have defined what we are about as far as our purpose, and it's ongoing. It'll be a lifetime journey. But that's probably where it all starts, is that we are responsible for finding our purpose. And once we do, we put in the motivating tools to it, and we just do it. And it's so rewarding. And it can be, that was the message I got from Julz, is that we can get that motivation instead of being resigned to doing, our humdrum life. We can change that. We can change that with our mind shift. We can change that with our diet and lifestyle. We can take full responsibility for who we are once we can define our dream, who we want to be, and how are we going to get there.
Yeah, well said, Jon. Okay, on that note, I want to just add just a little bit, because as you know, fitness is really how I started. That's really my main thing, and that's really what I love to help people with. And so, for some reason, it seems like my mic is not working. I guess it is. Do you hear me fine, Jon?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay, it sounds different to me. Anyway, so I want to just add, of all the things the basic things that we know that we need to do to improve our health is, first of all, you got to reduce stress. You got to reduce your stress, and that's something that, again, there's no lack of trainings, videos, of coaches that can help you do those things. And it's really real simple. Again, just to take time out and to breathe and to relax and let go of all these things that are supposedly stressing you out, which is just mostly made up in your own mind. And then, of course, you've got to eat healthy. You got to eat real food. And real food is just what's grown in nature by Mother Nature, organic fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and some healthy grains and some healthy animal products as well. And then, of course, exercise. Again, you don't have to, as we mentioned in there, you don't have to become a professional athlete. You don't have to go to a boot camp. You just got to learn the basic things of moving your body on a daily basis, learning how to breathe better. You got to stretch on a daily basis. You got to do some strength exercises at least a couple times a week. Doesn't take too long at all, and you can greatly improve your fitness with just minimal amount of exercise, and you can make it fun as well. And then, of course, you got to get sleep. You got to sleep on a regular basis. Those are some of the key things. And again, those are all things, what I like to tell people, Jon, all these things that we're trying to help you with here, they're all things that you're already doing anyway, right? You're already breathing, you're eating food, you're sleeping, you're exercising. So hopefully you're exercising, you're doing some things, but most likely you just haven't learned how to master those things and how to do them in a way that serves you better. So it's not that difficult. And so I actually came up with the biggest excuse for not exercising is I don't have time. I'm too busy, right? So I came up with a whole system. It's called the Fast Fit system, where you can do a complete full body workout without using any equipment. You can get a complete full body workout in just 17 minutes. So now you have no excuse for not exercising. So I have a little short message about that. So I'd like to play that for our audience right now.
Now, in just 17 minutes, you can get and stay fit and look and feel your best for life. This will be a life-changing and life-saving experience for you. Yes, it's true. Scientific studies have shown the Fast Fit 17 system is the fastest way to achieve maximum results in the shortest amount of time. This is a true fitness breakthrough. This system was developed particularly for busy people over 40 who know they need and want to get into better shape and have more energy, but feel they don't have the time. Now, time is no longer an issue. We want everyone to take advantage of this fitness breakthrough. So, for a limited time, you can get the entire program for only $17. So don't miss out. Order now at fastfit17.com.
All right. So John, I know you're an avid golfer, and isn't it interesting how the old time golfers were really out of shape and they smoked and all that, and they can still do okay, but now the new age of golf is all these golfers now are starting with Tiger Woods, I guess, right? And they're all getting in much better shape, and it really helps you to play the sport that you love, and particularly, I know so many people here, especially as you age, are into playing golf. So doesn't it make sense? As fit, as energetic as you can be, it's really going to help you to improve your golf game, right?
Absolutely. And what's really good about what we're doing here and what you're advocating and what we all advocate is movement and fitness and actually painting that picture. What Julz did, she said, but we're all going to live to a certain age. And if we can believe that most of us, if we do the right things, can live to be 90 or 95 years old. And whatever age you're at, you've got 20, 30, 10, 20, whatever number of years it is to get where you want to be. If you have that goal, that dream in mind, that you are going to live to be that age. And that's what we can do. And we can help and lead by example of, how to help others understand that mindset that if they can dream that they can be 90 years old and lead a healthy, happy life, then there's definitely ways to do that. And we can show that. And I love that Fast Fit 17. That is a 17 minutes worth of exercise. Tremendous.
All right. Thank you, John. Thank you for that. Okay. So now we're ready for our third segment. This might be the one that most people are waiting for, how to improve your financial situation and your wealth. So our expert guest on your financial situation, her name is Jackie Woodside. She's the creator of the Money Vibe, your financial freedom formula, whether you have money or not. So we're going to play the interview with Jackie Woodside. Hello, this is Rico Caveglia, and this is the third segment of our Fearless Aging special show entitled How to Make 2025 Your Best Year Yet. So we've already talked about how to improve your relationships and how to improve your health and energy. And now, actually, this is the one that most people are most concerned about, is how to improve your financial situation. So we have a great expert guest with us today. Her name is Jackie Woodside. She is a USA Today and 4-time Amazon best-selling author, TEDx speaker, international trainer, and professional coach. And she's the creator of the Money Vibe, your financial freedom formula, whether you have money or not. And she's also the founder of the Curriculum for Conscious Living and the Conscious Living Summit. And she trains coaches around the world to deliver this life-changing work. So Jackie Woodside, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Rico. It's always great to be with you, man. I think it's awesome that you're doing this New Year program to really help people get focused on the things that matter in their lives, their relationships, their health, their finances, our ability to grow and have a better life. That's what it's all about. So I'm really glad you're doing this.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your expertise in coming on. Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's our whole goal, to really help people. As you know, we've been together before on interviews, and our goal is to help more people to be more successful in every aspect of their life, so they can make a bigger contributions. We need more people to step up and live on their purpose, so we can create a more peaceful and prosperous and just world for everybody. So that's just what it's all about. So again, thank you. So let's start off. Let me start off by just asking you, I think I just read a recent statistic that I think it's almost 50% of people at retirement age are not financially stable. So why do you think so many people have a struggle really creating long-term financial success?
Yeah, so many factors involved with that. But I think that we're in a culture, people's behavior gets molded, our thinking gets molded, our behavior gets molded by the culture that we're living in. And we're unfortunately in a time in our cultural development that people have honestly valued things over people. And so, I think we're beginning to make that shift because people are realizing that it doesn't work. But I think, for decades now, people have equated success not with creating a life that I honor and respect and that I admire, but we've equated success with chasing that carrot, getting the next big job, the next big promotion, the next big house, the next big car, the big trip, it's about having more and contributing or doing more. And whenever you're chasing that next thing, it's going to run you dry eventually. So I think the formula that people have had for success of, get your education and get a good job and move up the ladder and buy the bigger house, it's going bankrupt, quite honestly. It doesn't fulfill people emotionally, psychologically, relationally, and then that causes a drain on your finances. So, I have a whole lot to say about what to do instead, but I think one of the reasons that people really have suffered is because we have lived in a very consumeristic culture where it's, bigger, better, more. I got to have the next one. People who buy the next car when theirs is still perfectly fine, or they got to have the next phone because there's a new model out. It's like,
and living on credit, right?
And doing all of, all of that on credit when you're not having the money to be able to actually create what you want. So, I think people's sense of desire has outpaced their sense of wisdom, honestly, is what I think has caused it.
Yeah, no question about it.
Short-term satisfaction is never going to create a life of well-being, whether it's financially or relationally or physically. Short-term satisfaction means, you eat that piece of cake even though you had one at lunchtime, rather than saying, no, I'm good with that. So short-term satisfaction is like, I'm going to gratify myself immediately. So in health, it means excessive eating and drinking. In relationships, sometimes it means, well, maybe nobody's going to know if I go out with that girl from the office, and maybe nobody's going to find out, all kinds of crazy things. Short-term gratification, right? Making decisions that violate your values because of a short-term gain. And financially, it means living beyond your means. That you want that next thing, you want that big trip, you want that whatever, and you're not able to say, well, wait a minute, consciously choosing, I have a bigger plan. I have a bigger goal. I want to retire, at 55 or 65. I want to have X million dollars in my retirement account. I want to leave a legacy fund for my children and grandchildren. That bigger vision, if you don't ever stop to think about, like, what is it that I really want anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I really want to go? Then you'll just get caught up in this quick fix, instant gratification culture that we've been. And you'll never achieve what you really want.
Instant gratification, yeah. Well, recently I read one of your articles or a blog. It was about the spiritual aspects of wealth building. I really thought it was really pertinent to what we're talking about here today. And those aspects that you talked about was creating clarity, commitment, and consciousness. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. So there, I do like to link your financial life with kind of your deeper sense of purpose and meaning of your life and your financial life. It's all one,
Yes.
I have a very holistic perspective on how I kind of coach and teach and train. You don't have a professional life and a personal life. You have one life God has given you, some of which you get paid for and some of which you do not. So being conscious about your money, conscious about wealth, the first one, clarity. What do you value? Where do you want to go? So let's go. What do you value? Are you spending money and consuming in alignment with your values? And a lot of people, first of all, don't know what they value.
Yeah.
So one of the things I really value is the environment. So I'm really mindful about reduce, reuse, and recycle. I don't mind buying things secondhand, not because I can't afford to buy things new, but why does anybody need a new everything, right? So reduce, reuse, recycle is a part of my values that is alignment with my value around environmentalism. Another thing for me, I don't use my dollars to support industries that don't reflect my values. Mm-hmm. So I don't drink. So I don't, spend money on alcohol. I don't, maybe that makes me a bit of an outlier. I'm a vegetarian because I don't like the way animals get treated in the animal industry. So I don't put my dollars there. So I think for people to get clear on what do you value and are you using your money in alignment with that? First of all, it'll cut back your spending. I'm not blindly consumeristic. I don't buy for the sake of buying. I reduce, reuse, and recycle all the time. So that's the clarity part. Get clear on what you value. Second thing is get clear on what you want your financial life to look like and what you want your financial future to be. It doesn't just happen. Nobody's going to show up and rescue you. You are the one that's responsible for your financial life. And we're like, well, no, my spouse does that. You're still responsible in connection with your spouse for what your financial life looks like. Yeah, you're going to say something there?
I was just going to add that. I was just going to say it's also about being clear that you're responsible for everything in your life, and your financial health. You can't depend on the government. It's not that we don't get some support, but if you're just depending on the government or someplace else for your financial success, you're going to be in trouble, right?
Yeah, you'll be poor.
Yeah, you'll be poor, right?
You'll be poor, yeah. And maybe people are okay. I'm not poor in spirit. I'm rich in spirit and poor financially. That's fine. And there's all kinds of statistics that show us that people who are wealthier and more educated have longer health spans and longer lifespans. So there is something to be said for having extra money to be able to, because our healthcare system is broken. Sure, it's fine if you've broken an arm or a leg and you need to go get something fixed. It's pretty good if you get cancer, but why did you get cancer in the first place?
Right.
What are your lifestyle factors that are adding up to that? Anyway, so that's the thing about clarity. The second thing about commitment, is that what you said, commitment? And the second one?
Right.
Our culture is so unconscious that it's so easy to get caught up in, just consumerism and social media, how much time people spend on mindless activity.
Yeah.
So making a commitment to having a robust, enjoyable financial life means that you have to spend time on it. So one of the things that we do in my family is we have a weekly financial meeting where we go over what's our net worth, what's our debts, we're down to we only have one very small mortgage left. We own 3 houses and 3 cars and 5 kayaks and all kinds of lovely things, but we're down to just, I think like $50,000 of debt. And that's not consumer debt, 0 consumer debt, no car loans, no education loans. We pay for what we purchase. So having that, if you want to improve your financial life, it's a commitment of time, focus, and energy. So every week we look at, what's our inflow, what's our outflow, how much are we putting away towards the various funds that we have that support our lifestyle of not having debt. For example, we have a savings account that's just for education and recreation. So pretty much every week or at least every month, we put money into a fund for education and recreation. So we're going to Mexico on a family vacation in March. We have the money for that because it's in that fund. So having paying yourself in advance because we're clear on what we value, and then we're spending the time, the commitment to make sure that we're actually doing what we say we want to do. So that's the commitment piece, spending the time, spending the energy, having clarity about where your money's going and tracking that. I mean, I don't mean to be a fun sucker here. That's not, it's not the most sexy thing to do to sit down with your online bank account and look to see where your money has gone. But the more that you spend time on it with that commitment to clarity, the more you'll be able to grow your net worth. So the third thing is consciousness. And consciousness is simply kind of the sum total of what you believe and how you think and feel. I call it your BEAT, your beliefs, emotions, attitudes, and thoughts, your BEAT, beliefs, emotions, attitudes, and thoughts. So the sum total of what you believe and what you think and feel. And when people have a negative relationship with money, like I don't like money, or money and I don't get along, or money is the root of all evil, or money is such a hassle, I'll never be one of the lucky ones. When you have those kind of what I call low vibe, low consciousness beliefs, you're creating a more difficult path forward for your own success. So the consciousness piece is all about your mindset and how you think and feel about money, because how you think and feel about money creates how you act and how you behave about money. So it's what I call your money vibe. Raising your money vibe and how you think and feel through all kinds of various means. I can get into that next if you want, but being able to raise your money vibe, have more positive thoughts, feelings, and emotions about money is a huge part in improving your financial condition.
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, I do want you to talk a little bit about that. But isn't it interesting? It's the same with everything. It's the same with your relationships, with your health, with your money. It's all about what you're thinking, what you're believing, and it's all about your vibe, your vibration. So, give us some examples of some ways that people can improve their money vibe.
Yeah, so the first step in improving your money vibe is get really clear, get really conscious and aware of what is my relationship with money.
Yeah.
A simple litmus test that I do with people about this is I ask these three simple questions. What do you most often think in regards to money? So, you might have to practice a little bit of self-awareness around that. But I've asked this question of thousands and thousands of people, and most often people say, oh, I don't have enough, or I won't have enough, or I'm worried I won't have enough. So that's what do you most often think about money? Some people say money's hard, or I can't stand money. I can't stand to think about money.
That's so funny. How did all those things come about? I don't know. I never could understand that. Why do people think those kind of things?
Well, money represents survival in our world.
Yeah.
So when people feel like they don't, really it's about people feeling like I'm not going to survive not consciously walking around like, oh, I'm going to die. It's not like consciously, but there's this subconscious part where we equate money with survival at the very basic level. So that creates stress and fear for people. And then the second thing is we equate money with status. And people who have low status in the tribe, in terms of our evolution of human experience in life, those who had low status in the tribe would get shunned from the tribe, which again meant death. So whether it's, just basic survival or tribal survival of not being shunned because my social status. So it's both psychologically and socially with social status. And then, our fear of survival, that if I don't have money, I'm going to perish. I'm going to be homeless. That is the fear that a lot of people have. And if you walk around with fear in your brain and in your emotions about a thing, you're not going to like that thing. If you go for a run every day and the big black dog at the end of the street chases you, sooner or later, you're not going to run that way because you're afraid of the big black dog that chases you. Right? So we avoid things that cause us stress and cause us fear. So people do that with money because it causes stress and fear.
And also, just add to what you said, if that's what you're thinking, if you're fearful and you're thinking about you might be not survive, or you might be homeless, or you might not have enough money, well, that's what you're going to create. Everything is energy and everything is vibration. So if that's what you're putting out there, that's what's going to come back to you. So you got to change that, and you got to focus on that. You are going to have all the money you need. You are going to be successful. You can. This is happening to me.
Right. So the first thing is get aware. And one of the things I ask is, what do you most often think about money? Second one, what do you most often feel? When you think about money, how do you feel? And there's a difference between thoughts and feelings. The thought is like, oh, I hate money. And the feeling is maybe, disgust or stress or anger or upset. So there's emotions that go with it as well. And often I have to help people understand there's a difference between what you think and what you feel. I ask the feel question. People say, well, I feel like I won't have enough. I'm like, no, that's a thought. What's the feeling behind it? Well, the feeling is fear. Got it.
Yeah.
So right. And then the third one is what you most often say. What comes out of your mouth, not what's rumbling around in your head, not the emotions in your body, but what actually comes out of your mouth. And most often people say, well, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. Right. So when you do that very quick inventory, that's awareness, right? So now you can see where's your money vibe. So maybe some of you just passed that little litmus test with flying colors. What you most often think is, I love money. What you most often feel is happy and joyful. And what you most often say is, money is great and I can't wait to spend and give and receive, right? Look, I've done this conversation with thousands of people over the last decade. That's not what I generally hear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
including in front of a room of millionaires and billionaires. So I've worked at high level corporate events, and I've worked with individuals like you and me. It's pretty universal. So that's the first step, is to get aware of it. The second step is to have a commitment to change it. Like, oh, okay, I've got a pretty low money vibe. I really need to change how I think and feel and what I believe about money. Beliefs are the seat of your emotions and thoughts. So that really you have to go right at changing what you believe. So one of the ways of getting clear on what you believe about money is to just write a financial autobiography. What's your money story? What's your earliest memory about money? And then what belief did you create as a result of that earliest memory about money? So for example, one of my earliest memories about money was my brother and sister and I wanted to go to a movie that was being shown at my central school, and it was like, 25 cents a kid. This was back in the day, right? Very small thing. And I asked Mom, maybe it was 50 cents. I don't know. Mom, can we go? And she's like, no, I don't have the money for that. I was like, oh, I was so disappointed. And then, a few minutes later, I heard Mom in the kitchen rustling in the cabinet, and I peeked around the corner, and she's pulling down the big Maxwell House coffee can out of the top cabinet of the cabinet. And you probably know what was in that Maxwell House coffee can at the top of the cabinet. She pulled down that can.
Yeah.
She rolled coins so that the three of us, she had coins in that cabinet, and she pulled out enough coins that the three of us could go see the movie. So that was one of my earliest money memories. And the belief that cultivated in me, the interpretation I made was like, it's going to be hard. Be careful. Don't ask for too much. It's not going to be easy, but we'll just get by. We'll just get by. And Rico, that it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but I'll just get by was my story until I was an adult in my late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
And I got clear that was my money belief. And I always did. I went to college, played I was on a basketball scholarship at college, and I worked.
God, so cool.
And worked that covered tuition. But I had to work 2 or 3 jobs. I worked full time in the kitchen. I worked at the horse farm. I worked at a group home for people with disabilities while I was in college. Then I went to graduate school, worked awake overnights when I was in graduate school so that I could pay tuition, pay for my apartment. So I got by, got a good education. Wasn't easy. It's going to be hard, but I just get by. That was the story of my life for most of my life until, gosh, now, I guess it's been about half and half. It was probably in my 30s that I had that awakening, mid 30s, and now I'm just over 60. So I have a new chapter where I love money and money loves me. I'm in the flow of universal good. So one of the ways to get clear on what you believe is to write your financial story. Write your financial autobiography, earliest memory, impactful memories, where you first started earning your own money. How did you do that? Write your autobiography. And then from that autobiography, discern, what did I believe? What do I believe about money? Not what I should believe, but what do I actually believe about money? And then the next thing you do is take that, and I teach this very simple method, brain-based methodology of catch it, challenge it, and change it. When those limiting beliefs show up, you notice it, catch it, challenge it. Wait, is that belief that I want? Is that going to give me a good life? You challenge it. And then thirdly, change it. Now I say, I love money and money loves me. We are one big happy family. I've changed that belief.
Yeah. What I always like to tell people, and what took me a while to realize too, is beliefs are not necessarily true. It's just what we think at the time they may be true. And actually, you know what? We talk about limiting beliefs. Actually, all of our beliefs are limiting because all of our beliefs are limiting in some ways, So, but the cool thing about a belief is you can change your belief. You can believe anything you want. So you don't have to just keep believing the same things over again. You can just say, I'm not believing that anymore. That's the cool thing. You can believe anything you want. So why does it make sense to believe only the best and great, positive, best things for yourself?
It's not true. I love money and money loves me is not true. It just is a more empowering belief for me than it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but I'll just get by. Right. So neither of them are true. But any belief that you hold will determine the course of your life. Because it determines how you act. It determines what decisions you make, what behaviors you engage in. 100%. No belief is true. It's just what you believe.
Our beliefs are creating our reality. That's the first thing when I first learned that long time ago. That's what got me on the spiritual path, was when I really learned that our beliefs and our thoughts are creating our reality, and we have control over that. We can actually create our own reality. We're just about out of time here, but I also know that you have a Money Vibe boot camp coming up, right? You want to mention that real
I
quickly?
do. If this is airing on Sunday, it starts on Monday.
Oh,
So
it's also air on Sunday. Okay,
yeah, if this airs on Sunday, my boot camp
right.
starts literally the next day on Monday.
That's great. So we'll definitely put in the show notes of how people can access that. But why don't you go ahead and tell us how people can access that or find out about that?
Sure. If people go, actually, it must be on my website somewhere, the Money Vibe Intensive Boot Camp. So JackieWoodside.com, and you'll see it there. There's also a free gift for people who can't just dive in, the next day on a 4-day intensive course. There's a free gift on my website, the 5-day Money Vibe email course, an e-course. You get an email from me every day. I walk you through some of the principles of Money Vibe in a 5-day e-course, and that's for free on my website as well.
That's so good. Well, thank you so much for that. Man, that was really great. Some really great information. And, I always like to end, as you know, when you do podcasts or TV shows with Einstein's, one of his best sayings is that knowledge without action is useless. So we always give you some great knowledge and information and wisdom, but you got to take action on it. And so what's your last thing you want to tell people? I always like to say, you can do it, so just go out and do it. So what would your last word to people of how to get them actually to make the commitment and take control of their financial situation?
It's interesting, Rico, the quote that you used from Einstein, it reminds me of a biblical quote, faith without works is dead. That's one of my favorite quotes. So, a lot of people with money, they have their head in the sand because they're so afraid, they're so stressed, they're so overwhelmed. So I'd say, get your head out of the sand. And then the other thing is people like, oh, it'll work out. Well, faith without works is dead. Knowledge without action is for naught. So get your head out of the sand, have a financial meeting with your spouse or even just with yourself where you tally up, where is my debt? Where is my income? Get clear on it. Set just one goal. Set just one goal for the next 30 days of getting clearer on what your financial future is going to look like, what your current financial picture is. Just get your head out of the sand and start taking action. And you'll be able to start turning this around. It's, sometimes it's like turning a sports car quickly on a curve. Sometimes it's like turning a ship in the sea. No matter where you are with your financial journey, beginning is the most important part.
That's so good. Thank you so much, Jackie. That was great. I really appreciate that.
Happy to be with you.
Thank you so much. All right, we're back. Wow, what do you think, John? Yeah, she's so good, isn't she?
Yeah, she's excellent. And you say, wow. That's what I'm saying too, is wow.
Yeah, she's a real pro.
Yeah. And once again, there's a common theme there, Rico, that Jackie Woodside said and Julz said, and the Elle said. And it's really a mindset. It starts with us, and it's really so important. And we can get into all the details, but we just heard it from Jackie and our other two guests too about, it starts everything from you. And when you take responsibility and understand that, then you can, and like you say, you can just, you can do it, just do it.
Yeah. Well, and the good news too is, I think the good news that we want to let everybody know is that it's really not that difficult. All these things that we fear and we think are so hard and we get discouraged or we complain about, we're just making that stuff up. It's not really that difficult. So no matter what your challenges are in any aspect of your life, if you just step into that challenge, the fear begins to go away and the challenge gets smaller and smaller. It may seem big at first, but once you just decide, hey, I'm going to take control of this, I can do this, it gets much so easy. It's not that difficult. So the whole thing is just, again, step up and take control of your life, because you are in control of your life. You're creating your life. So again, yeah, you just got to get that belief that you can do it, and you can. So it's really as simple as that. We always make things too complex and too complicated and too fearful, and we're just making all that stuff up. It's not true.
Yeah, it's not true. And what you can do is just take it one little step at a time. Just have that awareness of who you are and what your beliefs are, and no belief is true. It creates our own reality, like you just said here, and what Jackie said. And it's so true that we can just reverse engineer it. It's so simple that we reverse engineer it and you say, wow, that wasn't that hard.
That's really true. Not that hard. Okay, so we're down to our last segment, and that's where John's really going to take over, because we just finished talking about wealth and how to create some wealth. So John's got some ideas for you, a whole wealth system that can help you to create some more income. And we're going to talk about that healthy coffee. And we have another short little video to play first, and then John will take it away. So here we go.
Somebody invited you to hear about this new coffee that is launching and why it's such a big deal. My name is Jared Burnett. I've been a part of this industry for over 20 years. I'm one of the top income earners in my profession, and I have never seen anything like Pure Cafe. I've never seen anything like what's happening right now with the launch of this product, but more importantly, what's about.
Was that it?
Well, that was a short version of it.
You just cut. I thought it was longer. Okay.
It actually is a little bit longer, and feel free, people, to contact us, and you can see the full version, because it is very symbolic of as far as creating your wealth. And I have a simple formula for that. It's health plus wealth, what we've talked about today, equals purpose. And when you have your health, and when you have your wealth, and wealth is not necessarily money as much as it's the whole big picture. And the whole big picture is that wealth, what that can represent, health is wealth. And what that can also represent is abundance and prosperity in your life. And knowing that you have faith and you have hope that you can achieve why you were put on this planet today. That self-awareness that we all know is that we all know what's inside of us. It's just really reaching inside of who you are so you can discover that purpose and get more clarity on it as you can help and make a difference for others, because that's what God has designed us for. And once that deep inner feeling has been known, miracles happen. And I will just address the wealth part of it again, that prosperity, that faith, and that abundance that we have in our lives can be interpreted in such a way that we can really thrive to find our purpose. And that's really as simple as God, serving others. May all beings be joyful and happy and blessed. And, like you said, Rico, it's very, very simple. So the coffee represents, it's very symbolic. It's very symbolic is that we have products that are aligned, that are very much aligned with who we are as far as health and wealth, and that we bring this to the community. We bring this to people that we can actually be healthier versions of ourselves when we do have the monetary, if you want to look at it in currency, then that is our currency to get purposeful about our lives. And we have financial freedom, and we can help so many more people. We can help so many more people when we do have that financial freedom. And so that's what the coffee represents. And if you want to get on board with us on that, we can show you ways where we can build teams. We can build social connection. We can build a networking team of people that will band together. And the synergy, the energy that we have with that team building and finding leaders who want to take communities to a health and wealth position where we can all thrive together.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit. We got some time left here, so talk a little bit more about the actual coffee, what it is, and all the benefits of it, and also, most people drink coffee, so it just makes sense that if you're going to drink coffee, why not drink one of the healthiest coffees in the world? So not only are you getting the enjoyment and the benefit of the coffee, and also you're improving your health, but then you have the opportunity to also create some wealth along with the coffee. So it's a win-win situation. So talk a little bit more about the actual coffee.
Sure. It is the coffee is very symbolic of really creating healthy habits. And what the coffee means is 74% of the people here in the United States, for instance, drinks coffee. And that coffee is a habit of people who want to feel good. They want to feel good about what they're doing. And you take it another step. It's healthy coffee. It's got just 2 ingredients. And it's teaching a healthy habit is that the less ingredients that you put in that are ultra processed foods, the simpler it is. Again, we go to the simple parts of life. And what that coffee represents is a very simple fact that when you put good things in your body, and there's just 2 ingredients here, to know your ingredients is what we're putting into our body is something that can, it's got cordyceps mushrooms and it's got premium grade quality beans. And those cordyceps mushrooms are there to help you improve your immune system, your cognitive function, as well as your stamina and libido. Those are the qualities of the cordyceps mushrooms. And again, it's symbolic. You can put other things in your body that are good for you that will address the needs of your inner being and how your cells operate just by that simple concept of putting good things in your body. And when you do that, things that are good for you and not toxic and not questionable, then what happens is that is a lifestyle that you can take onto yourself and use that lifestyle to create other habits that are good for you. And it's cumulative. And that's where, you can really thrive and get really good at what you're doing is when you're at your healthiest. So what the coffee also represents is to share that with others. That's why we're here, to serve others in such a way that the coffee represents an opportunity to share something that's really, really symbolic of being good for you, but it's also a way to address another issue that we have today in our society, and that's the wealth of our people. And by sharing something good, it's not anything like our corporate system that's competitive. What this is a win-win-win. By sharing the coffee, we can actually get paid for that. We can build teams and we can build people who can actually work together to help others get healthier and wealthier.
Yeah, and that's what life's all about, isn't it? Sharing the wealth and the health and creating good relationships. One thing I wanted to add about the coffee too is that it also doesn't have any acid in it. So I know that's one of the drawbacks. Coffee has a lot of benefits. It's really a high in antioxidants. It has a lot of benefits, but most coffee contains a lot of acid, so it kind of upsets your stomach. A lot of people have trouble with that. So this coffee doesn't have any acid in it, and then also it tastes good. Right? This coffee actually it tastes really good. It's so convenient. You can take it with you. You can get a cup of coffee anytime you want. Inexpensive. It just has so many benefits and so many pluses. We really urge you to, and we'll put that again, that information where you can go and order some sample, order a box and try it out for yourself. You get a 25% discount. And then we're also going to put a link in the show notes too. If you have some interest and learn more about the wealth building opportunity, you can connect with Jon and he can tell you more all about that. Okay, Jon. So
one other thing, Rico, I'd like to just leave that coffee with this symbolic way of looking at things is when you put, love what you eat or drink as long as it loves you back. If you can just think in that way, it will get past the instant gratification that we are in the society. And actually there's after effects of something good that you put into your body. And that goes right down to the cellular level of giving your body the nutrition that it needs. So that's basically all I have to say about that is it's really in the long run, you can live a very happy life.
Yeah. And so we still have a few minutes going here. So I guess we could just kind of sum up this whole show that we put on. It was just so. I think our guests were great, weren't they? They had some really great information. And again, I want to emphasize that too, is that they offer you a lot of good information, but you got to act on it. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, I like that," but you got to take advantage of it. That's why we put this show on, so you'll actually take action and you actually will improve your life. So I think
I can say one more thing just to wrap up, Rico.
Sure.
I'm very grateful to you. I'm very grateful for you to putting these three tremendous people together on the health, wealth, and basically it's purpose. It's finding our purpose in life. And for you to put something together like this, 2025 is the best year yet. It is. It's not only going to be, if we follow this wisdom that we've just been given here, and I'll give you the credit for saying, man, you get great people that we put together, but it's a lifestyle. It's not only 2025, but it can work for our entire life. And I think that this 2-hour plus video is going to be something that people could watch every month. They could watch it every week and get so many tidbits out of it as they get better about leading a very not surviving as much as thriving lifestyle.
Yeah, thank you, Jon, for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is something that's going to be evergreen. It's going to be, it'll be streamed on all the major streaming channels, but you can also find it on our channel at e360.com, and it's going to be on at least on our YouTube channel as well. So we're going to have all that information where you can find that. So yeah, that's a really good thought, Jon, that people can go back and that's our thought. You can keep on learning from it, but also to keep you inspired and motivated. That's what we really want. All the facts and all the different things you can do. That's really the easy part. The hardest part is to actually get inspired and stay motivated and go out and take the action that you need to take. That's the real message that we have for you, isn't it, Jon?
It sure is.
Yeah.
Message. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're just about ready to wrap this up. So, the first thing I want to say is, if you enjoyed this episode, tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show and the Fearless Aging podcast. Jon and I are also doing the Fearless Aging a podcast on a weekly basis, where we're really gearing that towards how to help elders improve their health, so they can also live longer and contribute to all the things that we need to change in this world. So we're going to put all those information also in the notes here in the description of the show. So tell your friends about our shows, and I'm going to read some of the things here. But we want you to subscribe to our Fearless Aging podcast and TV show. The link is in there where you can subscribe. We want you to subscribe to ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And when you also, I forgot to mention, when you subscribe to our podcast, our TV show, we have a great valuable gift for you as well. It's an ebook that we put together. It's called How to Be Bold and Never Be Old. It's really valuable information that will really, again, inspire you and empower you to take control of your health. And so you never have to be old, and you can live a much healthier, energetic, long life. And then all of our guests, as you heard, had some great gifts for you as well. So all those links are going to be in the channel. So we recommend that you definitely go there and consult with our guests. They're all just top flight people, real heart to heart people, can really make a difference in your life. And they have some really great free information for you. And again, we really recommend you try out the Cafe Pure coffee. And then also, we want you to, if you have some interest in the wealth building system, be sure and book a call with Jon. And then also, two more things with me. If you go to my main website, agelessliving.lifestyle.com, we have a free aging assessment there. And so you can take that assessment and see how well you're aging. And if you don't like the results, you can book a free call with me, and we'll discuss what health and fitness and aging challenges you may be having. And I'll get you going in the right direction. We'll give you some quick and easy solutions that can turn those things around. And then also, and then we'll have the link too. You can book a call with me. So that's about it. What last words do you have, Jon?
The last words I have, Rico, is if people would understand that we are here to support us all getting older and going into life as we can thrive and as we can enjoy it. And a couple of old farts like you and I, Rico, we've had a lot of experience in life, and we have a lot of wisdom to share with people. And if they can connect with us, we can take them down a path that will be so enjoyable and so much fun. So that's all I can say is that stick with us. We're living life by experience and with wisdom, and we want to share that with as many people as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's going to do it. So thank you all very much for being here. And again, I hope you really enjoyed this, and we encourage you to share it with your friends and family, and just stay connected with us. We'd also always like to hear from you. Let us know what topics you'd like to cover, or what questions you have about any of these topics. We're here to help you as much as we possibly can. So let us know about that. Stay connected with us, and that's how we create. That's how we're going to create this much more peaceful and prosperous and joyful world for all of us by creating these communities, working together, and sharing our knowledge and wisdom, and going out and making things happen. All right, Jon, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank everybody for being here.
Thank you.